Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. It's been a while here. Well, straight to the point, immigration rules are changing. Immigration rules have changed within the last couple of months. We all know the UK has changed some of their immigration rules. Ireland has changed some of their immigration rules. The United States has changed some of their immigration rules. Just a second, let me be sure you can hear me from my back end. All right. So welcome. Thank you for joining my live stream today. Um, Today, I am basically here to give you an update about Ireland immigration rules changes. Ireland has just announced major migration updates. If you've been following me or if you're new to my channel, Ireland is one of the countries I really love, and I've talked about them a few times. I've talked about opportunities, relocation opportunities that people can search for jobs and relocate to Ireland. Now, I've been seeing a few comments asking about Ireland immigration rule updates, and so I've done some research, and that is the purpose of this video today. And I'll be telling you four major updates that are applicable to my audience on this channel. Thank you for joining. Um, so I'm going to explain how this affects you as an international applicant or if you're already living in Ireland. Good afternoon. Thank you for joining. I'm also going to tell you, especially if you're planning to move to Ireland or if you're trying to bring your family and whatnot. Now, bear in mind that this update is from November 2025, towards the end of November 2025. It's an official update from the Irish government website, and I will also share my screen with you today. So I'm going to break it down in the simplest way possible so that anyone who views this would be able to understand it. Thank you for joining. Please, during the course of this live stream, if you have any questions, drop it on the chat box below. And if you view this video later, you can drop it in the comment section. So, like I said, we're going to narrow it down to the work visa news, pathways, and updates that are applicable to you. So let me share my screen real quick. I will change the I'm going to change the presentation of this so that it will minimize my image and also it will expand what I'm trying to present to you. So let me know it has proposed. So this is a press release by Minister Jim. Released a statement from government approval to strengthen migration legislation and to introduce new rules on asylum citizenship. I'm not going to focus on the asylum. I'm just going to focus on the citizenship, reunification, migration rules. These are the key changes. Changes to legislation will ensure that family reunification for those granted international protection status will only be granted in cases where it can be shown that you have sufficient resources to support your family members. So, in other words, this simply means that this is the first biggest change, and it's an income requirement for family members. So, family reunification is if you are an international applicant or you're an immigrant that you currently live in Ireland, it means that you need about 44,000 euros for you to be able to apply for your family members, and you need around 44,000 euros. This is also depending on your family size. This is what you need as a proof or fund that you can support your family members when they arrive. That way, your family member, this is you telling Irish government that when your family member arrives, that you are not going to be dependent on their welfare or dependent on them to look after your family. So before bringing your family, so before, people could bring their family on a lower salary regardless, as long as you can apply for their visa, book their flights and everything. But now you must earn more to prove that you can support them without relying on welfare. So if you want to bring your family in the future, you need to start planning your income early. So this affects spouse, this affects your children, your dependents. Um, Point number two is stricter good character and self-sufficient rules for citizenship. So if you live in Ireland, Ireland is introducing tougher rules for people before they can apply for citizenship, especially around personal behavior and finances. In simple terms, this means that if you depend on long-term government benefits, that means you're either working or not working, but you're reaping from their government benefits. This can count against your citizenship application. This one is actually normal for people in the UK. When I used to live in the UK, we nurses that were like international nurses, we were very careful with any free thing. Nothing is free there in terms of government funds. There are free things like healthcare because you know you are paying for, national insurance, so you know that your healthcare is covered. But there are things that you are not eligible for, like the citizenship would benefit from. So those areas is trying to tell you now in Ireland, they are toughening things that if you participate or be among people who reap from their government benefits and you want to apply for citizenship, then this could count against your application. Also, it also means that if you owe debts to the states or you have like serious legal issues, then it's going to affect your approval for citizenship. Um, Point number three, we talked about the residency requirements. Now they are expanding powers. What this means is that the government wants to give the minister more authority to refuse or cancel certain residence permits, refugee status, or immigration permission. So in most cases, if your criminal background check from where you're applying from has a fault or there is a criminal history, then this can affect your application for residency permits or even jobs. So this is targeted towards crimes like major fraud, violent, all those kind of things that could affect your immigration application or your visa application. So everyday workers, students, and anybody who entirely is not an immigrant, everybody who is an immigrant trying to relocate to Ireland, this would affect your application. So point number four to note is that residency requirements for citizenship, we've talked about it. It's we're gonna scroll down and see. So we've talked about power to revoke or refuse residency permits. We've talked about the changes to international protection system that will ensure people who are being granted asylum here in Ireland is only permitted for family reunification. Also, there is one more point. Let me scroll down. So the government has also proposed to change application for citizenship. It's going to now be a 5-year rule. This change is appropriate because they are now processing international protection applications. And by the beginning of June next year, most applications will last for about 3 to 6 months. Previously, this used to be 3 years. So 3 years for like people who have work visas or nurses, but now it's going to be 5 years. Let me see if there are questions. Okay. Thank you so much, Francis. Thank you for letting me know updates from my back end. I appreciate it. All right. So this is what I wanted to drop as an update because someone actually dropped a comment last in my channel and this is what the person had to say. So I decided to dig down, make researches, and also come here to give that update. So that comment, that's what I'm looking for. So the person dropped a comment saying there are immigration changes. It says you need to update your new videos on the Irish government just passed and approved a new bill in East Parliament on the 26th of November, copying the UK Home Secretary new rules. So 5 years applying for citizenship, and also the 44,000 euros you need to have before you bring your family members. I think basically I have touched most of it. So if you have any questions, if you live in Ireland or you're in the process of relocating to Ireland and you have anything to add to this video, it would be greatly, 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 greatly appreciated. Um, I'm going to drop the link to this government website where I found this information. And so if you you can also go through it and read. If you have intentions to relocate to Ireland, keep your hopes high. And I would say just keep doing what you're doing. You can check out my other videos where I talked about how you can relocate to Ireland, search for jobs. If the employer is not like relocating internationally, they're going to tell you, they won't even give like opportunity for interviews. So they will tell you. And also, I think if I know that a lot of people relocated to UK, I'm not going to say what they did, but this time around, what Ireland wants you to do is to show that you have a valid and genuine family relationship between the spouse and the residents. So if you're going to bring anybody there, you have to show that you have a genuine relationship. This one is not RNG. Both the sponsor and the family member must be eligible under the policy, which is generally restricted to nuclear family members, meaning spouses, civil partners. So for you to sponsor a spouse or partner, an Irish citizenship must have gained a gross income over and above any state benefits of not less than 40,000 euros cumulative in a 3-year period. So that is it, guys. That is it. So if you have a family of three, that means you have one child. The minimum annual requirement for your salary is 36,660 euros. And also, if you have a family of eight, you have a family of eight, your minimum annual net salary required in 2025 is 76,544,000 euros. But the list goes on and on depending on your family size. Again, I think what most immigrants, what they would do now is to, first of all, the person who is applying for the job will relocate first, work for a little bit, save up for the family, and then apply for family reunification visa for their family members, which I think makes sense at the end of the day. So thank you so much for watching this video and stopping by. If you're new to my channel, please do not forget to subscribe and like this video. That's all I'm asking from you. Please like this video and drop a comment below. And again, I will see you in my next video. Thank you all for watching. Bye for now.